Yo guys, Floopes Hunter with part 10 of Katawa Shoujo. Last time we went on the date with EMI, and we kissed her a bit, and we noticed that, or HISAO noticed that her leg was having a problem, like it was hurting her, and now we're trying to get her to go to nurse, and now we're actually in the point where we're in the library about to start talking to Yuko. So yeah, let's get on with that. She smiles at me as I enter and waves. Hello, HISAO. Good to see you again. What are you looking for this time? Nothing in particular, I guess. I just generally feel like going back to my room is all. Yuko nods. Well, if you're unoccupied, maybe you could help me look for something? Sure, what do you need? Yuko brings a finger to her lips and looks around furtively. She seems to be looking for eavesdroppers. Come closer. I take a few hesitant steps forward while feeling distinctly unnerved. Yuko lowers her voice to a confidential whisper. I'm on the trail of a Yamaku cat burglar. The what? Shh! The walls have ears, HISAO. Well, they might. But listen, those missing books, remember them? Yeah? Well, they weren't missing. They were stolen. I'm convinced of it. I remember you saying something of the sort earlier, but how do you know? Yuko leans in closer and, if possible, whispers even lower. Because I found one of his hiding places. You did what? Yuko looks triumphant. Found one of his sashes. It was under one of the stairwells in the boys' dorm. 3 books I'd been looking for, all there. I suspected a thief before, but this proves it. So did you take back the books? Yuko looks as if I've just suggested she walks around naked. Are you nuts? He can't know if I'm on to him. He might go to ground and evade capture. So what do you need my help with then? Yuko casts another glance around the library and leans in closer. You've got to spy for me. Spy? Yeah, like when you're in the dorms, you know? Keep an eye out for suspicious activity. What contributes suspicious anyway? Yeah, oh, that says constitutes. What constitutes suspicious anyway? That's kind of hard to decipher because, we have Kenji, who's a total weirdo, so. Exactly! I mean, Kenji's a pretty suspicious dude, but a wager he barely goes to class, much less sneaks into the library to play for books. Still, what's the harm in saying yes? At the least, it will get me out of this weird conversation. Yeah, I can do that, no problem. Yuko straightens up and claps excitedly. Great! Now, hurry up and talk about something else in case someone comes in. How's the school treating you? Pretty well, actually. I've been running in the mornings with EMI Ibarozaki, right? Yeah. How'd you know? I served you 2 in the tea house, remember? I deducted that if you were going to run with anyone, it would probably be her. She looks pleased with herself. Impressive. Anyway, yes, we've been running in the mornings. And, we kind of started dating. Yuko claps her hands together excitedly. Really? That's great! I bet you 2 are great together. I love seeing people find one with another like that, I even thought to myself when you walked into the Shanghai that one time, I wonder if that kid will wind up with one of those girls. Really? Yuko doesn't seem to notice my somewhat weirded out tone and nods affirmatively. Yep, I could tell that you'd wind up with one of them, I have an eye for that sort of thing. That scares me. Of course. Her expression drops slightly. I'm not so good at it myself. I'm sure that's not true. Oh, it's true. I met this guy once. About doing really great, but it turned out he was younger than me. And that was kind of weird, but not terribly so. What's really weird was that he disappeared one day, and I've not seen him since then. Huh? That does seem kind of odd. doesn't it? I hope it wasn't something I did. I felt compelled to reassure her. I'm sure it wasn't. I tend to try and calm her down further, but the both of us jump at the surprise of a ringing suddenly coming from my pocket. Yuko sighs to steady herself as I pull the phone from my pocket. I feel a little sheepish for indirectly causing the incident. He has a cell phone on him? What? Huh? Okay, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but has he had a cell phone the entire time? I don't remember him ever using a cell phone, or any of them using a cell phone, really. I mean, well, I guess they, they're out of school, so I guess that'd be kind of dumb if they didn't have a cell phone. You know, it's just, yeah. Emmy, what's up? Oh, thank God I haven't called your phone before, so I didn't know if this number would work or whatever you could pick up, and I can't. Well there, Emmy, slow down. What's wrong? There's a pause on the other side of the line, during which I can hear Emmy trying to control her breathing in order to calm down. Something's got her terribly agitated, and it's starting to agitate me. Can you stop by, like now or shortly after now? I really, really need to talk to you. There's a tone of pleading in the last sentence I don't think I've ever heard from her. Whoa, of course, I'll be right there. Hold steady, okay? In my increasingly agitated state, I've apparently started saying things that don't quite make sense. Okay, I'll be okay. See you soon. I pressed the button to end the call before slipping the phone back in my pocket. I apologize to Yuko for running off and run off. Perhaps at some point I would have stopped to think about the time, or how suspicious it looks for a guy to enter the girls' dorm at this hour. Except right now, I'm just concerned about just getting to Emmy and finding out what's wrong with her and how I can help her. I knock on the door and am greeted with a subdued "come in." Something is very wrong as I stare on the scene before me. Emmy's there, yes, but she's in a wheelchair, and her legs are missing. I glance around the room and see them sitting in a corner, looking like they've been thrown there. Emmy responds to my entrance with a lopsided grin that is both pleased to see me and completely, utterly heartbroken. Oh no, she can't run! No! Hi, HISAO. It looks like she's been crying, but if she was, she's stopped now. I notice that I'm a little out of breath, having taken the stairs 2 at a time in order to get here. My heart doesn't seem to mind the strain, though. I follow this happy fact away for later consideration. Like when I am not staring somewhat dumbstruck at my girlfriend in a wheelchair. Yeah. Realizing I've still not responded to her greeting, my brain lurches into gear. Emmy, what happened? Guess I should have listened to you, Sal. My leg's got a nasty infection. I'm not allowed to run on it for at least a couple of weeks. She gives a bitter laugh, but that shouldn't be coming from her. Oh no, she got an infection? Oh my god! Heh, I can't even walk on it. I could have used a crutch and kept on one of my legs, but I didn't see the point. Why hop? You can't run on one leg. At least this way I can still, I don't know, roll fast or something. Yeah, that's good, right? My awkward attempt to look on the bright side seems appreciated, but not really effective. Emmy shrugs again. It's just kind of a nuisance. I mean, we can't even eat up on the roof now. No wheelchair access. Yeah, but that's not a big deal, right? I mean, we can still eat together, and that's the important thing. That lopsided grin again, it hurts to look at. I suppose so, yeah. But like I said, it's a nuisance. I mean, I haven't really used a wheelchair in, she thinks for a minute, maybe 7 years? Something like that, anyway. A long time. I'm afraid I'm a bit out of practice. Well, fortunately, it's only temporary, right? Emmy nods. Oh yeah, of course. It's not like I've lost him permanently. But it's a pain in the ass all the same. I nod sympathetically. There's not much else I can do after all. What am I gonna do? Say, I told you so? Although I did tell her to get that leg looked at. But by the time I noticed it was too late anyway. Do you need help with something? Or that is, can I help you with anything? Emmy shakes her head and there's a bit of her usual grin back. Nah, I can manage fine by myself. Although, if you want to help me over to my bed, it could save me the trouble of rolling over there myself. I blush in spite of myself. Emmy giggles. You're such a prude, HISAO. I'm not a prude. I just wouldn't want to take advantage of a young woman such as yourself. It's ungentlemanly. I wheel Emmy's chair to her bed and easily scoop her up and deposit her there. She quickly sorts herself out and sits on the side. She's actually a little heavier than she looks. It would be rude for me to observe this out loud, of course. Man, you're kind of heavy. Emmy hits me with the pillow. And he still does it! Ass. Just saying is all. Must be all that running. At the mention of running, Emmy's grin flattened slightly. Heh. Well, I guess I wanted to worry about that for a bit, huh? Maybe I'll lose some weight. That's what you do to lose weight, right? See physical therapy? I'm pretty sure that's what the nurse would recommend. Speaking of which, are you going to still be showing up in the mornings? I hate to run alone. Ah, shit. Emmy's sudden interjection, more a disquieted and muttered than anything too profane, causes me to look over in shock. She's leaning forward, trying to cover the fact that she's crying by covering her eyes with a hand. Of course, the subdued sobbing makes it pretty obvious that she's crying. Hey, I'm sorry. I forget I said anything, okay? I put my hand gently around her and pull her close. I could think of nothing else to say or do. How do I comfort someone who's just lost his legs again? Emmy wraps me in a hug and stays there that way for a while. Sorry. I'm pretty bad at this whole comforting thing, I guess. Don't say that. I'm fine, really. Her voice is slightly muffled by my chest. I pat her head reassuringly. That's the spirit, right? You'll get through this fine. I know it. Besides, I'm here to help you, remember? Emmy lifts her head and stares at me with her tear-stained eyes. Can you really? She's grinning lopsidedly and something sparkles in her gaze. I can't tell if I'm being mocked or not. Of course, I mean, sure, you're a bit heavy, but, oof. My witty comment is cut off by the sudden press of Emmy's lips on mine. I'm caught off guard, and I'm rewarded by hitting my head on the wall behind her bed. Ow. Emmy pulls back, trying to look concerned rather than like she's about to laugh. Are you okay? Sorry. I rub my hand ruefully and grin back at her. Caught me off guard there. Is that going to become a habit? Am I going to be lectured by Shizune and Misha more? At the mention of the duo, Emmy giggles. Honestly, those two. If I didn't know why, I'd be utterly confused as to why she hangs around with someone so ballsy. Which one are we talking about? You know exactly which one, HISAO. Misha, hardly ballsy. Misha's hardly ballsy. So what's the reason then? Huh? The reason why Misha hangs around Shizune. Emmy waves my question off with a snarl. No idea. I see. Anyway, you seem to be forgetting the original question, don't you? Oh yeah, I guess I am. You wouldn't mind giving a guy a little warning, would you? Otherwise, I'm liable to wind up with a concussion. I emphasize the point of rubbing the back of my head. Emmy giggles madly. You could wear a helmet. Some kids here do, you know. Or I could just take revenge. I grab a pillow from beside me and whack Emmy over the head. Oh my god, what? Emmy topples over the bed and lands on the floor with a thump. Her arms promptly reappear on the bed, and she manages to pull herself back up. She really has a surprising amount of strength in that little body. Her face is turning downwards and away from mine, making me think I might have accidentally hurt her. Emmy, you okay? You didn't bite. A hand shoots out and grabs my collar. She pulls me in with a sharp tug, her face now barely an inch away from mine as she grins cheekily. Emmy? Oh my god! She gives me a hard headbutt, our foreheads making quite a loud sound. Ow! Shit! I sit back and rub my now sore head as Emmy smirks victoriously. How's that for revenge? No fair! You can't take revenge for revenge. For someone missing most of her legs, Emi is surprisingly agile. I swipe at her, but she deftly rolls out of the way and lands a hit with her pillow. Of course, the odds are against her. I can stand out for starters. Oof. Or not. You can't now. Guess I can't after all. Emi seems to have effectively tripped me up and is now sitting primly astride me as I lay on my back. I'm not even sure how she managed it. I win. Her eyes twinkle mischievously. I've been thoroughly defeated, and by a girl that's a fraction of my size at that. Then again, being defeated doesn't seem quite so bad. Emi being positioned over my waist isn't something that I, or my body, can ignore easily. Oh god. I open my lips to speak, but Emi's head darts downward before I can get as much as a word out. I give her resistance as she presses her mouth to mine. Not that I'd want to. This is different somehow. She pulls back, nips out my lower lip, and reinitiates the embrace. Her tongue darts inside my mouth, exploring. I can feel a warmth spreading through my body as my heart begins to beat faster. My mind starts to go foggy, and I became vaguely aware of my hand traveling up Emi's blouse. Emi gasps as I reach her. Emi gasps as I reach a breast. Then there's a giggle, and then, oh god, he's gonna get hit. Or not. I stare up at a grinning Emi. Told you, that makes my second win now. What? That doesn't count. You seem all wow. All's fair in love and war, right? Ha! And you're even blushing. I didn't know you were a blusher, Sal. You were blushing too, you know, probably because of your prudish ways. Even I've got to admit that is a stupid thing to say to a woman who is currently straddling me, and has been, up until a few seconds ago, playing tonsil hockey with me. A prude, am I? Well then, let's see who blushes first, shall we? I'm not sure whether the tone of her voice terrifies me or arouses me, but that question is quickly made rather... Don't let me run into something! I hope you guys saw that, because... Ow, that kind of hurt my knee. Anyway, What? We don't get to watch them have sex? What? What? But I wanted to watch them have sex. What the fuck? Later. You better give it to me later, game. The sunlight breaks through my window shortly before my alarm ruins the morning silence. I feel sore. The events of the previous evening suddenly intrude upon my conscience, and I find myself blushing. That was an eventful evening, and it explains perfectly the soreness in my lower back. The lower back, as I recall, had been rather tense. My trousers having been soiled, I had washed them off in the bathroom before going back to my room, but there was still a fairly obvious looking stain on the front. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran into on my way back was Kenji, and he didn't notice a thing. Well, apart from my being in the general vicinity. Of course, he'd asked how the night went, and whether or not I learned anything of importance. I didn't even know if I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. And this morning, I will admit that I'm feeling pretty worn out. Still, Emi had promised to meet me at the track, and I hate to disappoint. Ah! She's indeed waiting for me when I arrive, doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early. Emi frowns and shakes her head. Ridiculous. You're late. Overslept, HISAO. All tuckered out. Oh, I love the look she gives with, like, this squinting eye, like, ooh. Well, at least she seems more like her old self. And as expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. All that cardiovascular activity last night, I nearly thought I'd have to see the nurse afterwards. Oh man, the nurse would kill him. Like, did they have sex? Like, seriously? Emi laughs out loud, then her face suddenly becomes concerned. Like, I want, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they kind of did, but I kind of feel like they would have shown that. Or maybe not. I don't know. Hey, that's not, I mean, you're not, go on, spit it out. It's just that it would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were, oh. Now that she mentioned it, it really is a legitimate concern. It certainly had a thought of that last night, of course. Other, more pressing concerns had been at hand. Well, I don't think anything we do is going to be any more restrained than these morning runs, and I handle those fine, so Amy considers this point. A devious light appears in her eyes. Say, The light vanishes and Emmy grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious. I seem to have forgotten a pair of gloves. What do you need gloves for? Emmy indicates the chair upon which she is seated. For this, of course. Sure, regular moving around is all well and good without them, but I want to be able to get a good workout. And to get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want blisters. So what, are you wussing out on me then? Do I have to go it alone? Emmy thinks for a minute, or pretends to think. If I remember right, there's a square pair or two in the track shed. There's a spare pair or two in the track shed. So she does seriously want to do it then. But in her normal school uniform? I'd have expected her to wear the gym outfit for something like this. Wait, what are they doing there? Amy looks askance at me. Seriously, you can't think of a lash head full of track supplies at a school for disabled would have racing gloves? Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh? I guess I can let it slide this time. Now come on, I need your help. I can't imagine before, but then again I don't have a clue why racing gloves would be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Oh my god, are they about to have sex again? Like, I feel like that's what Emmy's doing here. Emmy navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kind of cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first. Opening it will be easier for me than for her. The door opens and Emmy starts to go inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. It seems the door seal is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. She makes a few runs on it, unsuccessfully, before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object. Stupid wheelchair. HISAO, can you give me a hand here? Sure, no problem. It's a simple enough matter for me to bump Emmy over the doorway, jostling her slightly. Hey, easy there. Whoops, sorry. It's at about this time that I fail to notice where I'm going and run Emmy's chair into a mat. She gives a startled yelp and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze in horror upon what I've done, and Emmy glares at me. HISAO? Yes? Promise me you'll never work at a hospital. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Emmy giggles and holds up my hand. Would you kindly put me back in my chair, HISAO? As I bend down to pick up Emmy, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss.
Don't let me run into something. I hope you guys saw that, because, ow, that kind of hurt my knee. Anyway,
Emmy shrugs and grins. Well, it was worth a shot, right? Winky face. And anyway, it was a good exercise, right? Yeah, you didn't get your run, so you got something else, HISAO. Can't argue that. As we make our way up to the nurse's office, I notice that Emmy keeps shifting uncomfortably in her seat. God, this feels weird. Good thing I'm in a wheelchair, Sal. What's that? Because now I don't have to explain to the nurse why I'm bulking funny. Oh. We're never doing this again. The nurse is at least kind enough to not comment on the marks that Emmy left on my shoulders. Nor does he say a word about Emmy's constant shifting about in her wheelchair. Either he didn't notice, or he didn't want to notice. All the same, I'm going to have to make sure he didn't slip cyanide into my medication for a little while. Just to be safe. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, bro. I shower for longer than usual, just to be sure I'm clean of our little experiment, and then collapse by. Sorry about that, guys. I had an interruption with a phone call. So anyway, I'm going to save right here. So we just had anal with EMI. That was interesting. I shower for longer than usual, just to be sure I'm clean of our little experiment, and then collapse on my bed. Class is in 20 minutes, so I can probably afford a nap. Yeah, your nap's gonna be like an hour, and you're gonna be in trouble. Knock knock. Who's there? Knock knock. That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock knock. I already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? I have suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. Oh shit, dude! Nice work, HISAO. On a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Sorry guys, I'm trying to adjust this so I'm not... Yeah. Better not give that excuse to Mattel. Sorry I wasn't in class. I was experimenting sexually with my girlfriend and it tired me out. Talk about the great deals of science. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Yeah, that will go over well. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. Guess I ought to answer the door. Oh, it's Kenji. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Knocked out, I see. I told you to be careful around that Ibarozaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you or something? Or was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and shines it in my eyes. You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember. The conversation isn't going nowhere. No, I just had a tiring morning and I fell asleep. Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of those most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent or anything, and she didn't knock me out, okay? I also highly doubt that she brought down anyone at all. Kenji looks most offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know. We're friends? I had no idea. Oh, that's pretty bad. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I held out my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji seconded it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you are. You've got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. What? I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It will blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right, but it's dangerous, as I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back. Sure, man. What? Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days, and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom in one of the dress drawers. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to do that for you if you are missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Nope. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man. Great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. Shaking my head, I close my door and walk back to bed. Guess I should go to class, if only to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today. I did want to read more of that Hawking book that Tal lent me. I'm sure he'll understand. Knock, knock. This time the noise jerks my attention away from my book. An experience not unlike being woken up. Who's there? Me! Aren't you glad? EMI! EMI! Yay! 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 Let's keep going. The voice is muffled through the door, but unmistakably EMI's. I help up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey, nice to see you again. EMI grins back, staring at me from her wheelchair. Yeah, you would have seen me earlier, but the damn elevator wasn't working. Had to wait for them to fix it. You'd think they could keep it in better order, but no. I chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her in. She wheels in easily, and with my help, she hops onto my bed. There, much more comfortable than that stupid chair. A sigh of contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute we both just stare at one another. It's at this point that I notice the circles under EMI's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. Before I can ask about them, EMI fixes with a mischievous stare. So, I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today. In fact, I don't think I saw you at all. What happened? Fell asleep. Actually didn't wake up until lunch, and only then because Kenji woke me up. Why are you so tired? Oh, EMI, you are great. The strenuous workout this morning. Slowly uncomfortable, too. Oh, I just love it. EMI calls a half-laughing, half-embarrassed noise. Remind me not to do that again. No problem. It wasn't exactly great for me either, to be honest. Well, we'll just avoid that from now on. Are you, still sore? EMI stares at me in disbelief. What? It's a legitimate question. Of all the questions I never thought I'd be asked, that's one of them. Well, okay, I misread that. Of all the questions okay. Well, I didn't ever expect to have to ask it, so we're even. EMI laughs at this. I guess so, huh? Well, since you asked, yes, I'm still a little sore. We're never doing that again. No arguments from here. A yawn escapes her, and I raise an eyebrow. Tired? She nods sleepily. Haven't slept well. Not sleeping well? I can tell that she doesn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start like she's just been caught lying and hastens to add. It's not a big deal, though. What's the trouble? EMI shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stressed over exams. Another shrug, but after a pause, EMI nods hesitantly. Yeah, yes. Actually, that's why I stopped by. She gets to look more and more miserable. Not so you notice, of course, but her eyes are on her lap. She's fidgeting and her voice is quiet. Well, we need to stop hanging out so much. What? Oh, because she has to study, probably. That is... oh my god. Huh? Why? EMI takes a deep breath, like she's been practicing this. Because you're too much fun to be around, and I can't concentrate when you're near me. With exams coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise, my grades will be pretty lousy, I'm afraid. I can help you study. She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation. I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? I mean, even now, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I kind of just want to, not converse. Ah, overwhelmed by my rugged manliness, I understand. That's great. Oh, I didn't say that right. There was supposed to be a comma. Dang it. That earns me a grin, at least. Emmy shakes her head. Idiot, you're full of yourself. Well, I am pretty irresistible. Or more or less, I guess. So that's the situation, HISAO. I have too much fun around you, and if I'm going to go into exams prepared, I need to be alone. Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only a couple weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings and at lunch. We can just hang out at school, no problem. After exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate their being over, okay? Emmy grins, pleased by my proposal. Yeah, sure, that sounds great. As if to signal the end of the conversation, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams. Oh! 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 Damn! Okay, I'm ready to go on with this. Yay, we don't have to watch them. That means I don't have to edit more shit. I'm kidding. It would have been kind of funny, but whatever. Huh. It's weird how easily Amy and I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we come together, we seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess that's not exactly true. We've both been pretty bummed after that last night together. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs, and just our runs, I might add. Once too, I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. We have plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school, whereas the morning runs we have been increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emmy wants to make up for our foolery in the storage shed. But no matter how much we joke at lunch, I can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I've caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll, even though they haven't even started. This is just the run up, the deep breaths before the plunge. Tomorrow the real trials begin, or the real exams anyway. As for me, I actually don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side okay. Mattel thinks I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. Or he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam, HISAO. It's way beneath your talents. Then again, it is Mattel who's telling me this. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect for me would be disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. It's for that reason that I found myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over, some formulas or a velocity, a few bits about friction. A walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam never was good with languages. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated, then off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Emmy plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject, or distracts me through other means. Yeah, I was really wondering if this is gonna go on into a college setting, or university. I don't know if it would. Like, I don't feel like it should because of where it's set. But I feel like something could go on from that. I don't know. Like a few days ago at lunch, when Rin wasn't around. Heh. I've done it. I'm startled from my revere by Yuko's triumphant shout. Gah! Yuko seems mortified by my setting startling. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I really wasn't, and it's just that as she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey. My words seem ineffective. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy. And it's a library, and I shouldn't be either there. Just calm down. And really, I'm setting a bad example, and now I'll get fired because I can't do anything right. Yuko! Shouting seems to have worked, but I draw the ire of several other students studying in the library. Yuko snaps to my attention like a soldier who just heard the captain bark in order. Sorry. Calm down, it's okay. You just startled me a little, and that's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little. Though she keeps shifting around with a nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So, what's got you so excited anyway? The Yamaku cat burglar. Oh. To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper. I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity, so I did some spying, and I think the tipster was right. Oh, really? And who was this burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively. Nope, I can't tell you that. Why not? It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him that I'm onto his game. He could tip his hand early and blow town. Then I'm left with no perp. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn them. Why would I care? If you've got to ask that question, then you don't need to know. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess? Thanks. What for? The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively. So, studying for exams. Well, that was the plan. I'm not having much luck, though. Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I've been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Whoa, wait. It's not that. I've got my book right here. To illustrate the point, and hopefully calm Yuko down, I show her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering, is all. It's because of the noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about the noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. I mean, aren't their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around? No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. It's just, hell, I don't know. Worried about Emmy. Worried about us. Worried about what happens after we graduate. Emmy's been kind of weird lately. What do you mean? Well, you know how we're dating now. I just don't know what we're actually... I just don't know that we're actually, you know, a couple, or at least I don't know that we're beyond friends. Though friends normally don't do the sort of things we do. Physically, we're a couple. Coupling, at least. It's like every time I try to find out more about her, or about what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. And I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. I asked why she had that policy, and I suddenly realized that I'm about to start describing, and wisely decide... I suddenly realized what I'm about to start describing, and wisely decide to clam up. She what? She changed the subject. Wouldn't talk about it. Maybe it's an uncomfortable subject for her. Or she just doesn't think it needs explaining. Or exploring. I think I said explaining. Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what's been bothering her, she changes the subject too. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. You go digest the bin of information. You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is. I can almost feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. That's exactly what it feels like. But is that really what's going on? I mean, sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You shouldn't take my advice. You barely know me. I'm just a librarian, and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about. No, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it, Yugo seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat. Look, I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should just talk to her. Get some time alone and just talk about it. And don't let her change the subject either. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out after all. And the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice, and talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good, but that's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever is bothering her. But maybe I should wait until after exams are over. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress has passed. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I think you go for her advice and head back to my room. Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. Holy crap! It's exams already? As I'd hoped, the exams weren't so bad. I managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final. And even that was acceptable. I wonder how Amy did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she was so exhausted. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm starting to really doubt that it was just about the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Hey, it's Al. Got a minute? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. So I'm gonna save. Yeah, I've got some time. No more important to be or anything like that. Katawa raises an eyebrow as a question my statement, then beckons me back into the classroom. I wanted to get some feedback from you if I could. I know that this course wasn't quite up to your level. Don't worry about it. The science club activities more than made up for it. Did they? Well, in fact, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you think that was a worthwhile activity? Just for my own reference. Well, yeah, it was a great way to go further than we did in class. It was definitely worthwhile. The towel seems delighted by my response. That's great. Exactly the sort of thing I was hoping for. You know, Estelle, I'm glad you came here. It's always good to have a student who really gets into the subject you teach. In a way, it makes dealing with the rest of the students more tolerable. You're a bright kid, too. You took to this stuff like a duck to water, or some other such simile. Thanks. You were a great help, especially with that college stuff. There's one more thing, Estelle. A bit of advice from one scientist to another. What's that? What does a scientist do? Observe the world around us. Exactly. Good. A simple question, but one that most people can't seem to answer. That's the essence of a scientist, Estelle. We observe what's there and try to figure it out. But what if there's something you can't figure out? What's a scientist to do if he can't observe something? Now, how, for example, can we talk about quarks when nobody has ever actually seen one, or black holes when observing them directly is impossible? Well, scientific equipment is pretty advanced. The tower irritably waves away my response. No, that's not it at all. Those are tools. I'm trying to give you a philosophy. Thanks. If you can't observe something directly, then how do you observe it? Yes? How? How would you guess the movement of a quark? What is your guess based on? Of moops. I should have thought of it earlier. Saying it effect. But how crosses hand together excitedly and moops. Yes, exactly, good. Remember that, HISAO. If you can't examine something directly, it's because you're looking at it wrong. You have to look at it differently if you want to uncover the truth, and if it eludes you, then look at what it leaves behind. That is the essence of being a scientist. We never stop looking for an answer, never take anything for granted. Observe, experiment, and observe some more. There's a lot of stuff out there that makes no sense, HISAO. Your job is to get it to make sense. If nothing else, I hope you've learned that here. I think I can remember that. Katawa smiled satisfied. Good. Now go enjoy your time off. You've earned it. I leave the room feeling a little confused. What about that on? Although, am I going about this thing with EMI the wrong way? If she won't tell me, how can I go about some other way? The question keeps spinning in my head even after I made my way back to my room. What if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing? If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, won't that come off as clingy? I don't want to start a fight or anything over something like this. Maybe I should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Would it be so bad to just let it go? It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company. But odd as it sounds, I really want to help her. I don't even know what with or if there's anything at all she needs help for. But I want to. Suddenly, a knock on my door rouses me. Kenji! I open it to see Kenji. Oh, it's you. It's me. That's it? If you had any idea what I've been through, what I've done, you'd be happy to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic you may never see me again shit. And here, you're acting like I went down to the store for some milk. You're a cold man, HISAO. I really respect that. Thanks, I guess. It's smart to play it safe, you know? Don't show any emotion. Keep your cards close to your chest. Unless it's time to show your cards, or you have bad cards. Then you should fold or collect your winnings. Do you understand? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I take it the mission went well? Whoa, awfully nosy of you, isn't it? You can't just go say anything like that. Things are at a delicate stage. One wrong move, and bam, the invasion succeeds. I thought you were going to blow the conspiracy wide open. It's bigger than that. I thought I need to update my charts. And probably change some of the prospects around. Puppets around. Oh my god, this is... Kenji, you're so weird, but I like you. Okay, so I'm going to save... I'm going to save over the first spot. And probably change the puppets around. You want to help? I've got some whiskey from somewhere. You can fill me in on everything your investigation has turned up. Or better not, I'm supposed to meet her today. Gotta go do that. Can't raise suspicion. Kenji nods in approval. Still keeping it close to the chest. Okay, man, I respect that. Good luck. Or thanks. That was so weird, but HISAO... I feel like HISAO has learned how to what's the word? Handle Kenji better in these situations. I'm just going to pretend, for the sake of my own sanity, that he's wishing me luck in talking to EMI. And if I squint, that whole card analogy he was talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table, or see if I can't get EMI to do so, rather. With a sense of something approaching purpose, I head for EMI's room. I hop up the stairs leading to her room and knock on the door. Who's there? That's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Hey, it's me. Thought I'd stop by. HISAO? Come on in. I reach down to open the door, only to find that it's locked. More and more curious. Your door's locked. Oh yeah, sorry. Give me a minute. In a few minutes, Eddie's opened the doors, grinning. Sorry, I had to get my legs on. I was napping. Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Her eyes are slightly red, and it looks like she's been crying. Hey, no problem. Are you okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that you look like you've been crying. Oh yeah, Sal, you're off to a great start on this one. Huh? Nah, I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you. She punctuates this with a long kiss that continues on the door as the door slams shut behind us. Damn. I know what she wants to do now, and I'm also painfully aware of how badly I want to do it too, but I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control that nearly kills me. Hey, wait. Emi's eyes crinkle in confusion. Huh? Wait for what? We need to talk. Isn't that supposed to be my line? And never a good thing to say? Aww. She's got a point. It's usually the lead into a breakup. Or the prelude to a fight. Maybe it can be a good thing this time. Or, that's the hope anyway. Can we at least get onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things, and I'm still readjusting. Plus, the nurse said I should try to be on them less often, since running put such a strain on them. Can't argue with that. It's a trap. We both know it, and we both don't care. Then again, it's awfully hard to get angry while in bed with the object of your affections, so maybe there's that motivation too. Oh my god, the music is really making me worry. I set Emi's legs by the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders. In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Look, I know that you've been having kind of a rough time of it lately, and I want to help you out. I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you've been crying, and that kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it. I told you I'm fine. No, you aren't. It's obvious something's eating at you. You can tell me you know. There's the slightest increase in tension in Emi's voice. Why is my saying I'm fine not good enough? Oh, this is heartbreaking. You're concerned. I get that. That's cool. But I'm fine. It's nothing that you need to worry about. Not sleeping and spacing out more than wind doesn't strike me as being fine. I want to help. Yeah, I don't like seeing you like this. I want you to be happy, you know? I get the feeling that came out wrong, because Emi fixes me with an icy stare. So you want to fix me, HISAO. She's definitely getting angry now. Want to swoop in on your white charger and save the day? Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains. Restore what's lost. Her voice catches in her throat and the tears start to flow. But you can't. Nobody can. Nobody will. I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. Neither of us says anything for a while. I'm surprised that Emi tightens her grip on me rather than pushing me away. After a deep breath, she starts talking again. Look, I'm sorry. There's these nightmares about the accident. The accident. I should have known. It took her legs after all, but it never comes up, of course. And I usually deal with them fine because I can run. Running clears my head like nothing else. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running. I just concentrate on breathing, on the rhythm of things. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forwards, you know? Nothing else matters, just getting around the next curve. And then it's the next curve, and the next, and the next, until I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. After something like that, nothing else matters. But I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long, so no outlet. Today, it just kind of bowled over a little. You could have talked to me about it, you know. You didn't have to go in alone. Emi smiles sadly, like she's trying to explain to a child that all fire burns. Yeah, I did, and I do. But why? Why do you have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? That smile again. Emi leans in and kisses me on my cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves her mouth close to my ear as she confesses this one thing to me. Because, HISAO, I've already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again. She pauses, as if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. I can feel a violent churning in my gut. She continues. So I can't rely on you, or the nurse, or anyone else. Just me. That's how it's got to be. Having delivered this short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is clearly over. I search for something to say, but I can't think of anything. Maybe I should go for now. I've got stuff. Amy doesn't even look up. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which. Okay, HISAO. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Holy shit. I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway. Hey, Emmy? Yeah? 1,000 things I could say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped apart, out of me. What happened to the accident? In that accident? I know she lost her legs, but that's never seemed to bother her. What happened there? Her father, dummy! What scares a girl so badly that she won't accept help, even from someone she loves? Her father! Dude! I don't know, but I want to know. I want to know so badly that being denied the answer feels like a knife in my gut. HISAO? You were saying? I'm still standing in the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. And I'm closing the door and walking down the hallway, down the stairs, out the door, into the dark. Somehow I wander back to my room. My brains are doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. I can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing. Dwelling less on a past that I can't change, living in the present and looking at the future. After this, saying with Emmy, I'm not sure anymore. She was saying the truth. She was saying the truth. It's simple to look at the next curve, ignoring the path gone by. No worry about the opponent left behind. No care for the spectators on the sidelines. And unfortunately, no time to watch out for lagging teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling as if the answers I want were written there. No such luck, of course. She's literally running away from something. But have I not been doing the same thing? Trying my best to forget about my hospitalization? I am getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. Emmy has 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with. But those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this is just as fixed as the both of us can get. The room becomes darker and darker, until I can really tell I'm looking at a corner anymore. The morning comes too soon, on the heels of a sleepless night. Is this how Emmy's been spending her nights? Staring at the wall or ceiling, trying to stop thinking about whatever it is? Her, in my case. That clenched feeling in my gut is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually, almost like she was teasing me or chastening me for suggesting that the earth is flat. That's how it's got to be. The way it's got to be sucks. It's feeling so miserable that I feel nearly decide to skip the run. That would be stupid though. It's not something I should do just to see. I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but it's something more now. I've started to enjoy the running myself. There are worse ways to get the blood flowing anyway. Never thought I'd say it after the first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run. Like no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing. It wakes me up too. And Emmy herself said that running always clears her head. Maybe it'll help me clear mine. I hope so. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. Summer's making itself known, it seems. Emmy's already stretched out when I arrive and greets me with a smile and a wave. Hey, HISAO. The sight of her so chipper is like a kick in the nuts. How can she be so happy after yesterday? I give a half wave and am surprised to receive a hug. Hey, about last night. Here it comes. I wanted to say thanks. I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while. I think it's because of our talk. So, thanks. How could she sleep better after our chat? She basically told me that she wouldn't get any closer to me, and that let her sleep well. Excuse me, but what the hell? Emmy either doesn't notice my bafflement or chooses not to notice. No telling with her anymore. Oh, no problem. Glad it helped. The venom that threatens to drip into my voice is controlled by for now, but I think I'd better start running now before I do anything stupid. Emmy seems equally willing to get started, and before long we're darting around the track. I can tell she feels relaxed. Feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's a stark contrast to the almost brutal way she's been hurling herself around the track these past few days. Our talk really does seem to have helped her. A pity it couldn't help me. I get into the rhythm of running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford anything about anything. I couldn't afford thinking about anything else but keeping my breathing steady and legs moving. Guess those days are gone. At least for the first couple of laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having with clearing my head, I increase the pace. Ah, there's the burning sensation in my legs. The breath coming ratchet in my chest, the pounding of my heart, which I still need to be careful about. But it does seem to have gotten stronger. I can feel it pumping blood through my veins. The sound thrums in my ears. But instead of being panicked as I was that day in the snow, I instead feel with elation. Yes, it's working. My heart, that fatal flaw that landed me here, has improved. I'm able to keep going now, and maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying so much. Right now, it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emmy and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pop in concept with one another. Nothing else. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help, though as much as I'd hope. I do feel better, and as I walk a few laps to cool down, I begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner. Emmy wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's got to be a way around this. Some kind of middle ground I can reach. Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn, I was almost feeling optimistic. Nice run, HISAO. You're really improved. Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, HISAO. You're pathetic. I gotta change my attitude. Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. And yet I just keep saying things that I don't mean. Any second now, I'll be as good as hiding my emotions as Emmy is. I like to think so. Why does she do this to me? Say something like that with such real affection in her voice that it makes my heart leap. She doesn't mean it. She can't. I must be doing a worse job than I thought because Emmy peers closely at me. Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should get to the nurse, huh? Yeah, I'd hate to kill over on you. Emmy looks a little shocked at my bitter tone. Don't say things like that. You've already done it once before, you know. Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. I thought she made that clear. But despite all of it, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have to, even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry. Come on, let's see the nurse. I can't get myself to calm down the whole time. Every time it feels like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emmy does something or says something that shows affection, and I'm back to the beginning. The image of her ending that conversation haunts me. It was like the final twist of the knife that left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emmy and I could be more than what we are. And what we are at this point? Little more than friends who happen to fuck. And really, it's not like I didn't enjoy the time I spent with her. Said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring anything up with her. Was just gonna hop on in there and let it ride, wasn't I? With this running through my head, I find myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emmy. Emmy comes bouncing out the door, gives me a kiss, and darts off to the shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office and gives me a ritual once over. Any problems today? Nah. I even pushed myself a little harder today than I have in the past, and I seemed able to handle it. That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, HISAO. You've been hanging out with Emmy too much. She's rubbing off on you, and not necessarily in a good way. At the mention of Emmy's name, I can't help but frown unhappily, in spite of my efforts of control. Well, now, this was new, don't you think? Last I checked, your usual response to Emmy's name was a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? Because Emmy doesn't seem to be in on it, whatever it is. She looked more relaxed than I've seen her in weeks, which is unusual for this time of the year. What do you mean by that? By what? For this time of the year. I keep trying to figure out what's been bothering her, but she clams up as soon as I broach the subject. Then last night she said, let me guess, she won't tell you because she can't trust you? And now you're crushed because you thought that the two of you were so much more than she seems to think, right? Holy shit. Or, more or less. How the heck did you know? HISAO, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things. Plus, I've known Emmy for long enough to know that she'd try to do something like this. It's just like her. He says this in a sort of half-affectionate, half-frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had a cigarette dangling from his lips. As it is, he seems willing to make do with a pen. Look, you mind if I give you some advice? We're gonna save right there. And I'm gonna play. So, let's just keep going. Sure, why not? What was it Metallic said yesterday? If you can't observe the thing, then observe what's around it. Or the shot. The nurse knows Emmy better than I do, I'll wager. Sure, I'm open to his suggestions. Honestly, I'm kind of lost. I've got no idea how to deal with this. I never would have guessed. He grins while he says this. I think he's kidding. Look, here's the deal. Emmy is stubborn. You should know that by now. If you don't, then you're pretty unobservant. But I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here. I'm so grateful. Anyway, if she's decided that she doesn't want to talk to you about what happened, then she's not going to talk about what happened. Has she said anything about what's been bothering her? Even a hint? Well, she did say that she's been having nightmares and about the accident. Really? You're making progress then. That's good. Well, I guess I can fill you in on this without violating my strict non-interference policy when it comes to Emmy making stupid decisions. The anniversary of her accident is coming up soon. She gets depressed around this time because it was a pretty traumatic event considering what she lost. That's the other thing. She acted like she lost more than just her legs. What happened? Whoa, no, not going there. You'll have to ask someone else about that, because that's a whole can of worms I'm not about to open. If Emmy wants you to know, she'll tell you in her own time. You've just got to be patient, that's all. Why are you even helping me with this? Because you're good for her. She trusts you, even if you don't think she does. Even if you don't think she does. And you've got the best chance out of anyone at the school right now to help her through this time of year. She won't accept my help, but she might accept yours if you don't screw it up. So don't screw it up, got it? I open my mouth to respond, when a knocking sound on the door interrupts me. Hey, you guys still in there? Just a moment, Emmy. Give us a second to get our pants back on. Oh, I love it. The door bursts open and Emmy glares knives at the nurse. Asshole. Didn't mean to get your hopes up. Hey, can we leave me out of this? Anyway, what's up, Emmy? Forget something? I try to take a more cheerful tone with her. No need to upset her. Two can play the everything's fine game. Actually, I forgot to ask you something. Oh, what's that? Do you want to come with me on a trip to my house? My mom's making dinner, and I thought you might want to join us. Whoa. Well, of course I accept. Emmy punches the nurse in the arm playfully. Not you, idiot. You were over last week. I was talking to HISAO. Oh, how interesting. Meeting the parents. I love to go, Emmy. Thanks. The The nurse raises an eyebrow, but says nothing. Great, I'll be in my room saving. Swing by after your shower and change into something clean and we'll grab the bus. Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. This time it's me who leans in for a quick kiss before darting out of the room. What an interesting development. Maybe we're getting closer after all. Maybe Emmy's finally ready to open up a little. I hope. Like, I want to know some more. Like, I know it's her father, but I want, I just want more. I want Emmy to open up and have that moment, and yeah. So anyway, though, guys, I am going to end the episode here. I think I've recorded for long enough, and yeah, so, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my video. It helps me out as a small YouTuber, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.